late, Rex.
I'm fashionably late though. Had to let Abby in. Had to get her a treat. Had to get something to drink. Had to get out of the shower. But here we are.
Yeah,
And
could have done a shower stream. Why not?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I no books were harmed in the making of this video. I just want that to be known.
Oh, I've
Okay.
gone live and I've got it up on my phone. One sec.
Try
Rex's new
this.
feature: reading comics in the bathtub.
Of course. Welcome back. Your dreams for your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Back here where we need ya. Back here where we need ya. Yeah, the tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We always could spot a friend. Welcome back. And I smile when I think how you must have been. And I know what a scene you were learning in. Was there something that made you come back again? And what could ever lead you? What could ever lead you? Back here where we need you. Back here where we need you. Yeah, the keys in my lot, but we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. All right, enough of that. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, Katie. Mike, you've never been on here. I mean, we were on a stream together a couple of months ago, I noticed. You've been a busy little guy because you got a 5 month, not 5 years, 5-month-old baby, a new baby to take care of.
Got a new baby, got a pretty
got
new
a new
wife.
gig. Yeah.
New life.
Yeah.
Like my entire apartment went completely upside down preparing for this little one. So
Of course.
I haven't got much comics done last year, but you know, we're catching up.
Well, now you're doing a combination, right? 1 through 7 into one big book. We'll talk about that. But now I was interested in your fairies, and I'm going to bring you up here, Shadowhawk. Do a little switch around. How about that? And
that works.
That's magic. That's magic on the and it's good to see Black Hat in here again. I think I'd left him a comment on his one of his but he picked a good day to come back because we're going to talk about fairies dark in the house over there in the UK along. Now you're in the Netherlands, correct?
Yep.
Over there with Dave, Genuine Comics.
Dave Brink, Dark Side Comics, Marinus. There's quite a few comic creators in the Netherlands, actually.
There's a bunch of you guys that I didn't even realize were in the Netherlands until I'd been talking to them for a while. Like, oh, another one.
Now, before you started making comics, did you read comics?
Oh yeah, huge comic fan. Very much a European comic creator. So Asterix, Lucky Luke, Tintin.
Larger format, big magazine size. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've been out not doing comic stuff at all. I've been picking mulberries off my tree. I don't know if you see that, but they're small. It takes a lot to get a cup full, but that's about the size of one, a big one. So, but I've been picking some mulberries off the tree that I stump really.
It's amazing that thing's still producing fruit, man.
I know. I tried to, it was cut off when I moved in the house. Oh gosh, probably in 2011. Wow. It's been over a decade. And I cut it back severely year before last, and it bore fruit, little bitty, just a little. And then this year I didn't trim it at all, and it's really bore some out. So,
That's
and
great.
put out more branches and stuff. So,
Yeah, I got
it's been pretty neat.
2 mulberry trees in my yard, but they're so
Do
old
you?
that they don't fruit anymore. So
Oh,
now it's
really?
just a mat. Yeah, all they do is drop branches when the wind blows. So
Oof.
now it's just a cleanup problem. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember. I guess the mulberry that had like the really in season or whatever, and was over a friend's house, and we were kids. She was babysitting me, right? And
uh,
now you kids don't go under that mulberry tree and get into all that. And well, of course we did. I had purple feet for like 2 weeks at least. That stuff doesn't come out, doesn't wash out. It's got to wear off. So I actually, the bottom of my feet were purple for a couple weeks. Good times,
yeah,
Katie.
I think you
Good
could actually
reminiscence.
make pretty good clothing dye or whatever out of mulberries, man. It's a
Mhm.
nice deep purple.
Step, yeah, yeah. If you could get it to, maybe they do. I don't know. Um, they
Um,
get it from all kinds of different sources. But now
Hmm.
Katie had a couple of books on fairies, and the reason I mentioned fairies is that's your company name. Tell us your company name and kind of how that came about, Mike.
yeah, so my company name is Fairies and Ends. That's my publishing house. Um, 2017, or no, wait, my apologies, 2018. My ex and I created a company with the comic Life On Cora that I'm here to promote. Um, and I'm 6'8". She was 4'9". Well, she's still 4'9", but we don't talk anymore.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So I'm an ant, and
Oh,
she's a fairy. And that's where the
Ah,
fairies and ants came from.
and
And
what's an
well,
ant besides a very big giant with a red beard and mustache?
it's a tree ant. So the
the
three people.
ents are the living
Yeah.
trees, right? Like from
Oh, living
Lord of the
trees.
Rings.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So that really goes into folklore, which you know some about, right? Hey, TJ.
Hey, DJ.
Oh, good TJ or bad TJ?
Good
Good
TJ.
day.
Good
I
Good
wish
TJ.
you
DJ.
wouldn't
Okay. Hi
describe the
TJ.
other TJ like that. He's okay. I've been on panels with him. He can get, yeah. Uh,
Other
Maybe
linen
you
TJ
don't want to say
can be a
exclusive
handful.
hardcovers.
linen cover. You did a
Yeah.
linen cover. Okay.
Oh
So
wow.
let me
I know
open
you've
it.
done some not really plushies. In fact,
Oh yeah.
when I
I
first
forgot.
noticed you a couple of years ago, Mike, you were talking about Life on Cora, and you had made your very first sort of
Flushy.
bird-like
Yeah.
creation plushie.
Um,
Do you call them plushies?
yeah. No, it's a plushie.
Okay. You don't
Like
have one there handy, do you? I'd like Katie to
no,
see that.
I
No.
I literally
Okay.
everything got kind of
Oh yeah,
thrown around.
moving. Yeah.
No, of
Yeah,
course.
I'm
Yeah.
actually looking for my hardcover because TJ got one of the hardcovers for the volume. Sure,
Okay,
it's
and
not
it
cover,
had
and it
okay,
had
and it
a linen hardcover.
sort
So
of
those
like
were number one.
linen fabric over the
Yes.
hardcover. Okay, I've seen those. That's
Very
awesome.
Uh,
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, no, those were very very high grade. Like I'm super proud of those.
Hmm.
But yeah, those were numbered 1 through 50. They're gone, obviously.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I can
Almost
understand
looks
you don't want to open it.
uh,
But be
behind
sure
you.
to open
Almost
it.
looks like a Calder mobile. I don't know if know who Alexander Calder was, but did the moving shapes and mobiles.
Oh,
Early part of the
mhm.
20th century. 30s, 40s.
No,
Yeah.
this is an art piece. So behind me is my wife's desk
Oh, okay.
because we only have so many rooms in the house, so we both
Is
have the
she an
workplaces.
artist as well?
No, but she's a writer.
Oh,
We
okay.
actually
Oh,
made
okay.
one Love
Oh,
and
that's an
Cora
artist. Yeah.
together. Yeah, no, it's definitely artistic. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
she doesn't do visual
When
arts.
you greet her and say, "Thank you for watching the child while I streamed," you're not an artist, and see where that gets you.
She's a creator. A
She's a
creator.
She's a
creator.
creator,
There you go.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no. This we actually got it restored by the original artists. So they're bronze leaves
Okay.
that are strung from the ceiling
Okay.
with little
Well,
hooks.
like I said,
Um,
yeah, it almost looked like an Alexander Calder, and I didn't know about him till college,
hmm.
and took sculpture, and of course, I know about Brancusi and Calder and all the,
Hey,
you know,
buddy.
uh, the thinker, the father of modern day
Yeah.
sculpture. Um, she looked at her book with gloves on. That's the way to do it,
Check
CJ.
the
If you
inside
don't want to,
cover.
if you
There's
don't
an
want to mess
original
it up.
piece.
Hey,
Check the
Carrie.
inside cover. There was an original piece in there. Everyone
Hey,
got a
Carrie,
different one. Hey, Curry.
Katie, can we see your fairy
What?
books?
Oh, you carrot.
You can
Did
see
you
my
pull
fairy
them?
books.
You
Yes,
pulled those.
please.
Now you've drawn fairies, haven't you? And
I have, but in my rush this evening, I did have a quick look at some of my drawings,
okay,
but I can't find my main folder, and they
that's
won't
fine.
be in my main folder.
That's
But I
fine.
have got some beautiful fairy books. Well, I
Maybe
picked
on
two
your
of them.
show, and the links are down in the description. If you're not, for Mike and for Katie, they both have channels, and you can absolutely find them on all the social media links down there. Hopefully, if you don't,
All
just
right, thank
ask.
you,
We'll get
Rex.
them to you.
All right, let me put my camera on now.
Katie's been doing some crafting things of late. Oh yeah. Oh,
So, let me
Sweet.
swap the camera
So
around.
yeah.
So
script looks backwards. Yeah.
yeah, we don't need it looking backwards. So this
Oh,
is Lady Cottington's pressed fairy books, and the
oh,
artwork
I've
on this.
seen some of that
You've
stuff.
seen this. Oh, the artwork in this is absolutely out of this world. She's kind of drawn the fairies as though she
Hmm.
pressed them in her book.
That's kind of
I,
sick, isn't it? I
I was
always
going to
thought
ask
that
you
Yeah.
if
that
you
was,
got
And
that
there's
book or
yeah.
little
not,
notes
Katie.
about them. What's this? July 8th, 1895. I caught
Yeah.
when she was a child. So as the book goes on, her writing gets more grown up. But this is her first one. I caught another fairy. It was flying past my window, but I was too quick for it. It didn't see me coming up behind it, but I only caught a bit of it. And there's the feet.
Wow.
Oh no.
But yeah, so it's a book of, that she's written,
Yeah, I've
from a
actually
child up to an adult collecting all her
seen that,
fairies.
and on Twitter I've seen some, and you could probably get it on YouTube too. The fossilized record of fairies. Have you seen a fairy fossil? They're
No,
actually
I
out
haven't.
there. They're
Oh, that's
actually
cool.
out there. Yeah, I've actually
Yeah.
retweeted some
Oh, wow.
supposed
Yeah, Katie, it's funny. I
fairy
actually
fossils. Hey,
bought
Jonas.
this book for my older daughter that's still home.
Yeah.
God, probably about 10 years ago or so.
What
Yeah.
would you
Yeah.
say is the reading
This
level
was,
of that, Katie?
oh, well, it's not really stories. So any age, if you like
Yeah,
pictures of fairies, the older people like me can read the writing. But
and
yeah, I could.
it's pretty funny too. It was actually written by one of the Monty Python guys,
Is it,
Terry Gilliam, I believe, wasn't it?
Ooh.
sorry?
Cool.
Oh, I bet it is hilarious. I actually know of that book, and I guess maybe she did watercolors for that, didn't she, Katie?
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that, gouache or
Yeah.
watercolors, tempera.
That's a beautiful book. And this is
Yeah.
one of my first ever books that when I got into fairies, and it's good fairies, and then you turn it upside down and the other way around, and it's bad fairies.
Oh wow!
So if you look sort of at the back of the book,
Hail,
And you
you've
Jonas.
got
had the
all
the bad fairies.
the bad fairies, and then you've got the good fairies. I mean, I generally use these for references when I'm like drawing. So you've got all of the good fairies, and it tells you, You know, this is going off a. Oh, sorry, camera straight.
Is it a flip book, Katie, where you flip it around?
No, it's
Like-
just a normal book, but you do turn it upside down and around the other way.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what we call a flip book.
Oh,
When you
okay.
have
Yeah,
to flip it over to the other side to be right side up. Yeah,
Yeah, hang on. Let me zoom out.
interesting.
What
And
do you
when
think
was
about
that
it?
published approximately? Wow, that's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one. When was it published? Let's have a look. Let's see here somewhere.
Looks like it has a maybe a cover little insert on it.
Well, Brian Froud, copyright 1998.
98. Okay, so that's been
Yeah.
out a while.
Oh,
Okay.
it's a Brian Fraud. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm absolutely for those.
Now, does he do?
He's amazing. I've
Mike,
got
does he
book on
do?
goblins too. Look at that.
Mike, does he? Wow, does he do just fairies, Mike, or does he do other stuff?
No, he designed the Dark Crystal.
Oh, he designed
Oh,
the
wow.
Dark
Oh,
Crystal
okay.
from the movie. Wow,
Yes.
wow.
He is the concept artist for
Did you
the
know
Dark
that,
Crystal.
Katie?
I did actually. Yes.
You did. Okay. Well, you're smarter than I.
Well,
Wow.
do you know the Dark Crystal was the very first film I ever watched on a VCR? On
Yeah.
a video player.
VHS. VHS.
VHS. That's the word.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. My cousin.
Wow.
Or my
That's
uncle
kind of like a
got one, we went there and
flower,
watched the Dark Crystal when it. So,
a leafy.
these pictures are amazing. I did actually draw this one. But, I just think it's beautiful. So there you go. They're the two books that.
Yeah,
I
some of them
wanted.
look more humanoid than others, don't they?
Well, some do, yeah. But there's all different types of fairies, and this will tell you all about the different types of fairies.
Yeah.
So,
All right, enough of that talk, Carrie.
Those are absolutely gorgeous. I love those, like the more classic watercolors that really make these kinds of creations come out.
Can we
No,
see
yeah.
your Dark Crystal book a little bit?
Yeah, so this isn't actually by Brian. Well, it is by Brian Fraud, but not exactly drawn by him completely,
Okay.
as far as I know.
So it's kind of
But-
based on what he did with the Dark Crystal. And I mean, were
Yeah.
they all considered? It's been a while since I watched that, Katie. Were they considered fairies? They were from a different planet, weren't they?
Yeah, no. The Dark Crystal is a complete fantasy world.
Right. Okay. Now, do you have a light table there? Is that what I'm seeing?
Oh no, this is a drawing display. This is a pen display. So this is literally like I can draw and do things. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very
Now,
cool.
do you draw completely digital?
No, I sketch digitally and I color digitally, but I ink traditionally.
Oh,
Very nice.
okay.
So this is all dip pen with Indian ink.
That's the type of stuff he does with Life of Cora, Katie. If you haven't seen it.
That's amazing.
And what are those bird-like characters called?
I
Besides
didn't know
individual
that.
names.
These are called the Celestrine. Let me pull. I got the page up on my.
And if you have a trailer for the new campaign, of course, I could go over to fund my comic, but it'll be
It'll be choppy.
It'll be choppy.
I got the actual page
Okay.
shared on my screen right now, so we can have a better look at it. Because I call it Too Many Birds. Got a little bit of
Wow.
flat color here already. I have a colorist for the series,
Uh-huh.
so
Now,
because
did you start coloring your books out at first, or did you get a colorist from the get go?
No, I colored the first two
Okay.
comics in the series myself, but I have had them reworked by my colorist
Yeah.
for the
Rework
volume.
for the new volume 1 through
Yeah.
7.
Now
Okay.
the volume is 1 through 5,
1 through
and
5. Okay.
this is number 7, which is coming out now. So that's what I'm essentially crowdfunding. All the others have
Ah.
already been printed, ready to go. You can get the volume still, of course. But yeah, and you actually have the direct link to fund my comic. But for the people reading, I'm gonna drop the link in. Let's see. I can't share it. Let me share it in the private chat. But if you follow
Okay.
that link, if you could share it around, Drex, you will find an 8-page intro to The Bond, which is the story that we're promoting, well, we're campaigning for right now, and the entirety of Life On Cora 4 Inner Talents, which is by the same writer. So you can have a full entry into the series.
Okay. Here is the link. It's also down in the description. Um, and I'll bring that up. Can you take your screen down if you're done
Yep.
showing that? Then I'll bring this up. Technicalities. So get this is why I was confused. It says get ready for Life on Cora 1 through 7 and volume
Yeah.
1. So volume 1 would be 1 through 5.
Yeah, volume 1 is 1 through 5, and
Okay.
it has a couple of extras in the back, like the first sketches of the world, that kind of world building. Um, and then all the single issues are available as well. So you
Now
can get both or either or.
I did sign up for this. I was not subbed to your YouTube channel, but I've since corrected that. Uh, all that is down in there. We have fairies and ints there. That's why we're talking a little bit about fairies, and we may have to have you back on just to talk about that subject even more because
I'd love to.
you're talking about uh you talked about uh folklore, and you're over there in the European theater as well as Katie, and I know that that's kind of your mythology or your tradition, you know,
Yeah.
uh,
It-
folk tradition. I don't want to dismiss anything because folklore, I take that very seriously. Um, I don't dismiss like Bigfoot and Loch Ness monster and things like that. Um, never dismissed UFOs. And hey, I saw one broad daylight. But that's exactly what it is. I couldn't tell you what it was. Uh, and survived to tell about it. They didn't take me up to the either that or they threw me back. I was out fishing at the time with another gentleman. Uh, but now, what basically, Mike, what and Katie, what is a fairy? Your understanding of a fairy. Mike, you
the-
want to go first, or Katie, you
sure.
want to go first?
Yeah.
No, go on.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
I mean, I wouldn't know
Um,
what the real one is, and I only know what I believe. So go
okay.
on, Mike.
Okay.
So depends on. Okay, I'm not very superstitious. I'm pretty grounded when it comes down to it, but I do love
Just say
folklore.
boring. Just say boring.
No, I'm not boring. If I was boring, no, actually, then
If I
my
was
wife would
boring, I
definitely
wouldn't
sleep.
be here on your channel, Rex. Well,
Exactly.
maybe you would.
I wouldn't be having a fun conversation. That's it.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But,
I'm being a little impish.
like you can go with the fair folk, like Irish folklore, and a little bit of German, where you get your, you know, they're taking children away in the woods. You know,
Yeah. Kind of like Rumpelstiltskin. That
Um,
story used to scare me as a kid.
I completely get you.
Almost
Same.
like in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the child catcher. He
Oh no,
used
that
to
terrified me.
it terrified me. Also, the Wicked Witch in Wizard of Oz,
Hmm.
and you'd see it every year. But kids love to be scared, you know.
Kids like being scared. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah.
Um.
Grimm's fairy tales, you know, some of
Yep.
that's horrific. You know, Hansel and Gretel, where she puts them in
Hmm.
an oven and eats them, or going to, right?
Yeah. No, it's really screwed up when it comes down
Hmm.
to it. Like people underestimate how weird German fairy tales originally are.
Yeah, well, I don't
Like,
think it's just German fairy tales. I
no,
bet
no,
if
no,
you,
no, no. But that's the one that most people know because they're the most um, adapted in folklore nowadays because they're the most like Hans
Mhm.
Christian Andersen,
Yeah,
Grimm, like those are just very common knowledge fairy tales. They've also been Disneyfied. They've been dialed down a little, two
yeah,
bits.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Um,
Tinkerbell, right?
oh yeah,
She's a, she's pretty
she's
much
a
a
fairy.
fairy, isn't she?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, no, it's literally fairy.
yeah. And she's
I
the
don't,
mascot of the whole company, or used to be. Who
no,
knows
I,
nowadays?
I actually don't know if Peter Pan is all that much a European folklore. I'm not too sure what they based that one on.
Shadowhawk,
Um,
do you know? Or Katie, do you know? Whoops, he
ooh,
bumped himself.
yeah. No, I don't know where the. I mean, obviously, it's a very British place,
Mm.
but I don't know what the actual original
Hi,
storyline was.
Anna.
I'll Google it.
no, me
Bonjour, Anna,
neither.
joining us from
Hey,
France, and
oh,
Jonas from Belgium.
Bonsoir, Anna.
Such an international crowd we have
I
here.
was gonna say that's a lot of Europeans here.
Yeah,
What are you guys doing up?
I
they
don't know.
Go to
they
bed.
they they come fairly regular to the show, and I know I'm not the most convenient time, but they're nice enough to come anyway. Uh,
Always
how about you,
appreciated.
Katie? What is your kind of definition of what you believe a fairy? How do you look at? Oh, Sweden. I'm sorry, Jonas. I always get that. Okay, I got you mixed up with It's a Lemons. I'm sorry. He's in Sweden. Forgive me.
What do I think? I have a very imaginative, girly approach to fairies. As in, I absolutely 100% believe that they exist.
Right.
Um, they exist around us, but in a completely different plane, so
Like a different
we can't
dimension.
see them. Different dimension, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know. I'm just always loved the, you know, traditional kind
Oh
of
wow, we picked up a new
fantasy.
sub. Thank you.
Yeah,
Was that
Oh,
you,
well done.
Mike? Did you sub to my channel?
probably.
All right, all right.
um. So yeah, they're just kind of
Yeah, no.
a completely different being to humans, but you know, with human kind of traits. And if you think, for my logic, in every single culture forever, they have some representation of
Uh-huh.
fairy folk. So try
Of
telling me that
we little
countries
people.
that never spoke to each other for
Yeah.
centuries suddenly all have the same.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
on different continents.
yeah,
Uh
that's what I mean. So I
like
Yeah.
believe
the
there is something.
mhm. And not just like little wee folk, but giants or witches or
Bigfoot.
pyramid
Yeah,
making,
Yeah.
and some a lot of that knowledge
dragons.
migrated, I
So I
believe.
just love all that whole fantasy thing, and I love the whole, you know, it's the same world that we live in, but in a completely
I had
different
forgotten that
land.
you said I mean I knew that about you about the dark crystal. I'd heard you say that before, but not in a while. And uh I
Bonsoir,
went to
Anna.
the theater and watched the Dark Crystal. I
Oof.
was about uh let's see, what year did Dark Crystal come out? Early 80s.
Early
I
80s,
know.
yeah.
Maybe 85. If it was 85, then I'm out of high school,
Let me
Oh
straight out of
no, I
high
don't know. I
school.
don't think it was. I don't think it was. No, I think it was way before that.
Before
'Cause I
that.
was
I might
only
have been
young when I went
82.
to my cousins to watch
82.
yeah, I was
Okay,
gonna
82.
say
so
maybe 81, 82.
82. I'm a sophomore in high school and went to see it. I watched all the Disney movies growing up, like Robin Hood and Jungle Book and Aristocats and
Oh yeah.
even some of the live action stuff, you know, that they did. I mean, that's where I knew Jodie Foster and Kurt Russell from, you know, was them acting in all those Disney movies. But that's when Disney was, you know, you're gonna be okay, Katie.
I'm not coughing.
She's
I
choking.
think
No,
it's
Oh, okay.
terrible.
Oh,
that
that's
was
Mrs. That's
that
Mama
was
Hawk. I'm
that was
sorry.
Mama Hawk. Sorry,
Oh,
I thought you were
she got
choking on a fairy.
she got no mic etiquette.
uh, yeah, it will be awesome if we reach 500. Yeah,
Be sure to
or
Yeah,
like,
episode
subscribe.
800. Yeah, yeah. Well, we're shooting for it. You know, we're steadily growing, and the thing of it is not to get subs to your channel, but to keep subs,
keep
and
them.
that's the thing about it. We seem to be keeping what we're gaining, and that's good because
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
with some channels it's like a tug of war, right?
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And don't be surprised if we hit 500 and then drop back 15 or 20 and then hit 500 again and drop back because it seems YouTube loves to do that to people.
And it
Yeah.
seems
Yeah.
like when you announce it, people
Yeah,
like to unsub, just knock
Yes.
you down.
yeah, just to screw with it.
Yeah. They did the
That's
same
the
thing
internet,
over
man.
on
You know.
Twitter. They did the same thing to
Yeah.
me on Twitter when I hit 1,200 and I announced it. All of a sudden, I lost 3 or something,
No.
you know, to get
Aw.
under again. You know,
Well,
it's
you know
like
who the trolls are immediately.
you bastards.
So you, you stayed all this time just to troll me. Okay,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
that's commitment, man. I got to give it up for that.
What do you think about Shadowhawk? You hadn't chimed in. What do you think about fairies?
Um, I don't
Because
know.
it's not
I
so
mean,
much
like,
our lore over here. Although we have like Paul Bunyan and the skunk ape and Bigfoot and
yeah,
all
well,
kinds of
America's
different things.
a little bit different. I mean, if you want to
Yeah.
look into the actual lore of the land, you kind of got to go to the Native Americans for that, which, we have, uh,
And
geez,
every
we got,
state is different. Every state is different. They have different
mhm.
things that they've seen when it comes to cryptids and
Yeah, well,
unexplainable
we've got
things.
Jersey Devil. We've got our own
Yeah.
version of Nessie that's supposedly in what is it, Chesapeake Bay or something.
Yeah.
Of course, Bigfoot, werewolves. We've got the whole Skinwalker Ranch thing going on out
Well,
west. I mean, there's all kinds of
here in Arkansas, we got the Boggy Creek Monster that was made
Boggy
into a
Creek. Yep,
movie back in the 70s. And we also had the skunk ape, I
yep,
believe,
Skunk Ape.
because down at the bottom of the state, we have like swamp area, kind of like
Mhm.
Louisiana,
Yeah, I think
apparently. And
Louisiana had like Skunk Ape legends and stuff too.
yeah, and they call it a
Now, of
skunk
course,
ape because when it comes around, it smells. It has a musky
yeah,
smell
they
or
stink. They
something,
supposedly smell pretty bad.
kind of like Bigfoot. It's kind of like a Bigfoot type creature,
Well, you
chupacabra and
figure
things like that.
Mhm.
But
any
that's kind of
any big
cryptid.
giant animal that doesn't like bathe on a regular basis is probably
Hmm.
not going to smell great.
That's true.
If you
Excuse me.
notice, just in typical American style, you've got all the big things. When we're talking
Oh,
about
sure.
little tiny fairies.
Hmm.
Every, everything's bigger in Texas, baby. Even our chupacabras are huge.
There were fairies in A Midsummer's Night Dream, wasn't there?
Yeah,
And
oh, that's my
Oh
favorite
yeah.
Shakespeare.
mhm.
Absolutely.
There's
Yeah.
actually, I'm a big Charlie Chaplin fan, and there's actually, you know, dancing fairies in sort of a dream. He's been knocked out, and while he's unconscious, he's been knocked off a bridge. I watched this the other day, and they're like helping him up, and dancing around. He starts dancing with them in his little tramp costume. It's hilarious. If you've not seen it, it's love it. Tinkerbell was originally referred to as a pixie, not a fairy.
Yeah.
That
Now
is
that's
true.
another name,
That
pixie.
is true.
Hmm.
Now, is
So,
there? You guys know
um,
more than me. Is there a difference between pixies and fairies,
yeah,
or is it?
size.
Absolutely.
So,
Oh,
fair
Size.
folk, fairies are usually seen like described as being between 3 feet and 5 feet, like just smaller, like just under average humans. And
oh,
pixies are tiny, um, and tend to be more playful, not as devastating and scary as fair folk. Um,
okay.
yeah, like they're if you go to the serious lore, like especially Irish lore, they tend to
Hmm.
be scary. Like they will snatch your children and replace
Yeah.
them with goblins, that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. Um,
Changelings.
changelings, exactly.
I was
Changelings. Yeah.
reading.
Yeah.
Oh God,
But
I
yeah,
can't think of the book.
trolls. Um, yeah, like
I can't.
Yes,
they're-
exactly.
oh dear.
I'm
Arkansas
sorry
is
about that,
one.
Jonas. I really, would have cut that off at birth had I known. He's the only president. Now, he wasn't president at the time. He was our governor, or he wanted to be governor. I think he was already governor and running for reelection, but he came to our high school, and I was aware at that time that there's a picture of a young Bill Clinton shaking the hand of JFK, of John F.
Oh
Kennedy,
wow.
and there's famous picture of somebody snapped of him shaking the hand of JFK, and when I shook his hand, I was thinking, and then it turns out last year I learned I'm actually related to a couple of presidents and a signer of the Declaration of Independence and
Cool.
come out of England, but I need to do the DNA test. As I was telling Katie earlier, is like, yeah, there may be some Celtic. I know there's some Vikings, some Irish, some, there's some a mix there, from
At some point, like it's got to be so diluted, and you just got to go. Okay, I'm me.
well, I
They
know that scientists say that we're all related. We're
yeah.
at least 17th cousins, scientists say, which is,
So
kind of far
yeah,
removed. But I mean, um, you know, you'd think 200 years is a long time from like the founding of our country. But if you take like an average lifespan today, 80 years, 80 years, 80
yeah,
years, you're back 200 years.
yeah. It's only
I'm
You,
three
sorry, Rex.
generations.
We don't think 200 years is a long time ago.
No, we
no,
don't.
well, you
No.
have, yes, you have yeah, well, we're your young empire, if you want to put it that way. Yeah,
Very.
yeah.
The houses where I live just down the road are from like the 13th century. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the great thing. You got the history. If it wasn't destroyed like in World War II, World
Yep.
War One, or something, Germany got a really makeover, and so did Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I mean,
Wow.
when I was still in high school, read about the bombing of Hiroshima and in Nagasaki, at least probably both, and like potatoes in the ground were cooked. And
Yeah.
people were starving. They needed something to eat, and they ate them. Of course, they're radioactive. You know,
Yeah.
horrible. But and I just saw on, like, I think it was YouTube. I clicked on it, and it was back in the 50s, and it was like someone who survived Hiroshima, probably lost family in there, and then the bomber, the guy that was, the pilot,
Hmm.
one of the pilots, actually met him on that show, on that TV show in the 50s. So, and then
Oh wow.
he explained what went on, and it was interesting. Of course, they met
Yeah. No.
backstage. The guy didn't lunge for his throat or anything. But it was interesting. You can find it on YouTube. Uh, but yeah, I mean, fairies and folklore. I mean, there's such a deep tradition, and it varies from, like, if you talk to the Scottish, They
Oh yeah.
probably got certain tales, right, that are unique to Scotland. And if you go to Ireland, they probably have, which is all part of the UK, right? And then if you're in England, like Katie was saying, you have very distinctive English sort of lore, and like you were saying, Germany, and of course
Okay.
Czechoslovakia is going to be different,
Oh yeah.
Russia, but it is the old world as we describe it, and then sort of the Western hemisphere of everything, uh,
So, Katie, does England
America.
have leprechauns, or is that strictly Ireland?
Sorry, no, that's Ireland.
Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
just Ireland. Okay.
Yeah,
So
we don't have
Scotland
that.
doesn't do the leprechaun thing either.
No, I think they're
That probably
traditional.
Okay.
comes out
I,
of
w- I,
the
I was only just
St.
wondering if
Patty's
that was.
thing.
The
Yeah.
little
I
crop of
mean,
gold.
the UK is like a big island nation, so you would
Well,
think
now
some of the stuff would be more shared. But I
to
guess
be
because of the history of the way things
Yeah, I
worked out,
think.
you
I
guys
mean,
don't share so well.
yeah, we don't. I mean, we're very separate. I mean, yes, we're part of the same United Kingdom, but Scotland is Scotland, Ireland is
Yes.
Ireland, England is
Right, Wales is
England, and
Wales.
Wales is Wales. And please, will you stop forgetting Wales? Because it is its own country with its own language and its own
All right, look at him.
traditions and its own
Runs
stories.
like a
And it is
Welshman.
one of the original Celtic people. So I do object when everybody talks about Ireland and Scotland and forget the Welsh.
Nope,
My
they're free.
apologies, but pet hate being Welsh.
Ireland does leprechauns at St. Patty. Yeah, St. Patty's in England, people use as an excuse to get drunk. Yeah.
Oh,
It amazes me how everyone knows when St. Patrick's Day is, but nobody, even in England, knows when St. David's Day or St. George's Day is. But everybody in the
Yeah.
world knows when.
St.
yeah,
George slayed the dragon, right?
That's
yeah.
right. And there
I'm
you
not
go.
sure.
There's your history between Wales and England. If you want to know the dragon,
I
the
might
Welsh
look
dragon
stupid,
is a
but I know a
dragon.
few things.
It's about the battles between England and Wales.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And then
The white dragon and the red dragon. The red dragon is Wales, and the white dragon is England.
well, now we need to show Mike's trailer
And now,
before you have to go to bed, Katie, and I
Yes,
don't
please
know
do.
how.
I'm interested to listen. I've
Yeah. No.
taken over
Okay.
with the fairies. Really, I'm
Let,
sorry about
let
that,
me.
Mike.
How about I pull it up
Okay. It'll probably
because
run
there
a
you
lot
go.
smoother. Yeah.
uh,
St. George removed from England football uh, kit because the flags not inclusive, apparently.
Ugh.
there we go.
They
Sharing
just
it.
want to
Oh,
wipe England out completely. Let's be honest.
what? Oh God. So they're even
There we
messing
go.
with English football players now, huh? Damn.
Oh, look at this. It's so pretty.
This is animated by myself.
Oh, very cool.
What up, lovelies? This is Mike Jimmy, CEO of Fairies and creator of Life On Cora, now back with our 7th issue in the series, The Bond. Life On Cora is a series of one-shots building a world one story at a time. A couple of years ago, I imagined a world and I told a couple of writers to go have fun in my sandbox. And so they did. Each adventure is unique and adds just a bit more to make this world feel more and more alive. They can be read separately and all contain a complete story. In our upcoming release, you follow Sevier and Avo on their journey into maturity and find out if their friendship breaks down in rage or whether their bond is stronger than bad emotions. Now on Kickstarter and Fund My Comic.
Very cool. Now, if I am
Nice.
I mistaken, Mike, but we I probably saw you over on Pops's channel years and years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know if you've been on Red Valkyries, but it seemed like I was trying to think when was the last
Couple
time
of times.
or the first time
Yeah.
that I've said, you know, you were probably just getting. I think maybe the second book out. I'm not sure.
I
I don't know.
started doing
I've been
crowdfunding
seeing
until
Mike
book.
and
Someone is having an echo.
Oh, yeah, it's probably a little
oh
on Shadow's side. After a while, it starts
yeah. Let
echoing.
me jump out.
Oh. But no, I started doing crowdfunding until with book 3, and have been crowdfunding since. Um, and yeah, every single one of them has been very successful. Yeah, I've been on Pops, I've been on Red Valkyrie. Um,
I
a
think
lot.
probably Pops is the first channel I
Yeah.
saw you on. It's been a couple years or more,
Oh yeah.
you know, because you had just made your very first
Yeah.
plushie, and then I think the
So
next campaign you made another character, right? Another plushie,
I
or did you?
haven't made more plushies,
Okay, but
but
that was the
every
only one.
yeah, that was the only one eventually. Because making plushies is expensive. Uh
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I know all the
making
women want plushies, but they're expensive
I
to
want a
make.
plushie.
Yeah,
There
we'll
is
get you.
still space on my bed for a couple more plushies.
Oh, good. I've got a couple of them for you.
yeah.
We'll fill that spot up.
But yeah, no, we got I got a 12-inch plushie of the main character of Lava Cora #1, Atsi in the Ritual. So Atsi is a
Mhm.
plushie. I can actually show it.
Okay, there you go. He's
There we
Mr.
go.
Digital Master. He's got files. See, files upon files.
Oh yeah, got them everywhere. So there we go. It's a 12-inch plushie, so it's like this big. And um, yeah,
Okay,
no,
so
there's
you still got that available on your site.
oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, because I know initially you didn't make very many of those.
No. I made 100.
Oh, did
And
you
I,
really? Wow. Was
yeah,
there a minimum of those?
yeah, you have to take a minimum of 100,
Wow.
and like no, that's fine.
Well, that's good because
Honestly,
that's your main character or one of your main characters, right?
one of them. So
Yeah.
every book has a different adventure, following a different kind of creature on this alien world that I imagined. Because I essentially went, I want to make a true fantasy. So I don't want humanoids. I don't want um, an alien.
Would you?
I don't.
How would
I
you
don't want Star
describe
Trek.
these as mythical animals, mythical creatures? I mean,
I um
how do you kind of view this with no humanoid in the world?
I call this speculative biology.
Okay.
So
Oh, this is
I
new.
imagine. Sorry. So every um, aspect of this world technically works. So it's a science fiction megastructure that I went, you know what, this could work on. And so every book has a different creature that is semi sentient or sentient, and just has a day in the life, or an adventure showing what happens, what is their life like. So they're very character driven stories. You get your intro page and you immediately jump into uh, the entire stories. Let me just open one of them, and we can just scroll through one of the.
Now you've also worked on Sin Killer and the Radiant Sight. What about those?
So those are not my works. I
Okay,
published
Sin Killer
those.
was Marv's, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's
So
mine.
I publish for I publish Marv.
Oh, okay. All right.
The Radiant site is
What do you think about this artwork, Katie?
I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I love those colours and everything. It's just
thank you.
so
Yeah,
eye catching. It's so simple. I don't take that the wrong way. It's not
No, no,
simple. I
no.
mean, I respect you.
No,
But
it's yeah,
it is so
beautiful work.
easy on the eye. It's nice, it's catching, and I just love it. You can see everything so clearly. I love
It's
it.
so as you can see, there's no red, yellow, or orange, and that's a very simple reason. The power core that gives light to everything on this world only gives off blue light.
Ah,
So
Wow.
you don't have any red, oranges, yellows, like they're absent. So you're gonna get your greens, you're gonna get your blues, you're gonna get
some
your
purples, grays.
purples. Yeah,
Yeah. Joe,
Yeah, that's what I
that's
thought.
amazing, and I like the way that
Hey,
you have a
Glenn.
reason
hey
why
Glenn.
the color palette is restricted. You know, because it could have just been a matter of preference for you, but you actually have it, you know, into
A
the
Yeah, there's
story.
reason.
actually a reason for it as
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no,
It's
Look,
there,
great.
there's some
That's
very
attention to
we got
detail.
mushrooms. We got mushrooms.
Woo!
You know,
no,
these
it's
these creatures look with the
mhm.
hood, you know, their head configuration almost like a triceratops with you know, a human equivalent.
Mhm.
Forgive me for that, but like a gecko.
So the description that the writer gave me for these creatures was chameleons, but with really small heads.
Yeah, kind of
I
chameleon.
I
Yeah.
Okay.
generally don't keep to the descriptions of my writers because they either don't make sense or they just don't work with my style. And honestly, like by the time that I get around to it, they have forgotten what they look like anyway. So I can fiddle around a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm animating this stories in particular into an animated pilot. So
Excellent.
the animated part that you saw earlier on the trailer is actually the intro for the pilot episode. And you can find the first work in progress with a couple of finished scenes on my YouTube channel, and
Oh,
that's about
okay.
9.5 minutes long.
Now
Um,
you also are on the I'll bring it up here. Let's see. You're also on the Indie Comics Network as
that's right.
myself when I review sort of comics along with Russ Leach and Glenn Fleming and Randy Zimmerman and others and yourself. In fact, you and
Yeah,
I, Mike, were on. I think you were on the very first one I did a couple months ago, and I'm like you. I didn't think that it had been a couple months, but I looked on the Indie Comics Network where we
yeah.
simulcast because we're also on Randy's and other places. Tell me a little bit more about the Indies Comics group. I know some of those girls from, you know, auctions and over on Pops's channel in the past.
So the Indie Comics Network is a network of comic creators and artists that have their own shows, and we collectively stream to that network. So you get something every single day of the week. JD Calderon streams there. He does podcasts. Of course, there's Randy Zimmerman doing two podcasts, and I actually have my own art stream, Hung on Animation, where I am animating this comic for an hour every Thursday.
Now, are
And
you
you can
animating the whole comic, or are you doing like trailers, or what?
no, I'm doing the whole comic. So it's
Okay.
going to be an actual.
Wow. Okay. So is that to get it out there, just like you said, a pilot to show people and
Yeah,
hopefully get a whole series made?
I'd love a whole series.
Yeah.
But honestly, it is for me to learn animation.
Okay. And it's very
Um,
time consuming, isn't it?
it is. Yeah, I've been at it for about 2 years now with like just the animation. And it's on and off. Like usually, I only get hung on animation to work on the pilot,
How
so that's
many of
one
these
hour a week.
books are you getting out per year? I know it's kind of slowed up since you had your young one.
It used to be two or three, um, but yeah, like after
Eh,
2022, I had a very hard financial hit,
yeah.
and that slowed things down significantly. And then my wife got pregnant, so we had to move things around very quickly, and I got even less done. But yeah, I'm slowly picking it up again.
Now, are you distributing these out? Are these in the European size for one? Are they larger in size?
Yes. So let me
And
let me grab some.
locally, where you're at in the Netherlands, are they seem to be received pretty
Um,
well where you're at
oh yeah.
locally?
I essentially would not have gone. Um, Here we go. So this
Oh,
is a variant cover I did for. Well, I didn't do, but I commissioned for the
wow.
third
That
issue.
has a
Octus
Lord of the
Climbs.
Rings kind of vibe to it.
Here we go. So yeah, these are A4, which is let
I
me
notice you kind of
grab
go
it.
with a slicker stock of paper.
Yes. All right. And to compare, this is your size compared to American comics.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Also,
Yeah.
some love to Eagle Raven. I absolutely love everything Daphne Leitch does. This is a sketch cover she made with the characters from Life On Cora #5. Oh, and she
Very
actually a variant cover for it too. This is the
Shadowhawk, you
original.
remember that auction that Critical Blast had for
lovely.
charity for kid to get comics in kids' hands?
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and uh, uh, we bought a couple figures and books and stuff, and we were bidding against each other and stuff. A lot of the indie network and things had,
Oh
and
yeah.
Mike might have been on it as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I was.
But
I think that
some
might have been where I first heard about Life on Cora because
Mhm.
I've got one of your earlier issues. I can't remember which one it is,
oh,
but
you do
I
okay,
do. Yeah,
all right,
I
yeah.
do have one.
Yeah. Well, you've got some of those ladies' characters too. You bought one, and I bought one, and I sent it to
Hmm.
you, and now you got two. And some of that stuff's very limited. That one I gave you, I think, was one of 300. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, dude. That was yeah. You got the
They
I
were
got the
variant
great.
green
one.
one, didn't I? Or
Um,
did you get the green one?
I thought you got the black and white one, and I got the green one because
Okay, okay,
I
all right.
think the
Because
black and white
green's your
was the
favorite
bear.
character, yeah,
Yeah,
or your favorite color, yeah,
my favorite color. But
yeah.
yeah,
Look
the
at
green
him.
one I've got.
He's
I've got up
looking.
still. She's or he is on my
He's
shelf up
looking in
there
his
with
vast library. Is that your
comic
wife's
cards.
library behind you there? All those books behind you?
No, that is only for her final thesis.
Oh
Um,
shit.
the library is here. So this is my little bit.
Wow.
That's my little bit.
That is 20 yards or 20 feet of
Wow.
bookshelf,
Wow.
I
double
think I
deep.
see a child's toy.
Yeah, you do. Okay.
They get
Yeah,
So
no.
everywhere.
how
Um,
has fatherhood changed your life, Mike?
um,
Besides
I
your
love it.
sleep schedule. I don't want to hear about that.
Honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest. I am one of the luckiest parents in the world. Aurora has been sleeping through the night since she was 6 weeks.
Oh wow.
Wow.
She,
You are
That's
lucky.
I,
great, dude.
Yeah.
we are absolutely blessed.
Of course, the
And
Yeah.
what a
more fun.
fantastic name, I have to say.
Yeah,
I
Aurora.
that is.
agree. It's
Beautiful.
completely my wife's fault. She came with it, and I was like, yes.
I like fantasies names like that too. My daughter's named Amber Dawn, is her middle name, Dawn. So,
Just keep her
just
away from spinning wheels.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that's exactly
or
where it
she'll
comes
prick
from.
her finger and go into a coma.
Oh no.
For 100 years. And if
Yeah,
you read the original, awful things happen to her. She
yeah,
gets a baby while she's still asleep.
Ooh,
European fairy tales are
dark.
yeah.
completely screwed up.
Rapunzel. Yeah. Uh, let down your hair.
Hmm. Let's
Oh
see.
me.
What else we got in there?
Yeah, you seem to have a vast library, Mike, around you.
I yeah, no. My wife, like when my wife moved in, there was one rule. Um, we needed to be able to accommodate her library. She literally has a library. Um, so she's got like
Keep
1,300
going.
books.
1,300 books. Wow.
Yeah.
That took a while to move, didn't it?
Yes.
And how far
We
Oh,
did you
also
sorry,
move
that
from your
dropped out there.
old location? How far did you move?
so she moved in with me. So this is my apartment.
Okay.
I've
Okay.
had it for nearly 10 years now. But we completely overhauled it. So the bedroom that we have right now used to be my studio. I used to have a complete room,
Mhm.
set to art. I am back to 5 square meters again. But you
Look
got
at
you gotta you gotta.
I got
So we got a bedroom, we got a baby room, and we have her workplace. We got my workplace, and we got living room. The wall is completely designed by me, so they're iron pipes with wooden planks on them. So her rule was, I'm okay with moving in, I'm okay with getting a new place, but we need to immediately be able to unpack all my books. So I did. 130 boxes filled with books,
wow.
Wow.
not the small ones,
Yeah. Heavy.
like the normal moving
Yeah, not
boxes.
like
I
little
Wow.
paperback, but
I live on the fourth floor. We don't have an
oh, dude.
elevator. I am
Oh,
so glad we rented one of those moving elevators. We just plopped it against the balcony, and it yeah, I'm so glad.
no, I
And
didn't
it was a
even.
thing.
We don't even have those here. I don't think. I mean, maybe in some of the bigger cities, but I've never heard of a moving
Well, now
elevator.
does it work on the railing like
It's
seated
a
for people to go down the
no, it's a
railing for
ladder.
like handicapped or not really handicapped, but to help them get up and down the stairs like that?
No,
No.
it's a ladder that they put up against against a wall or
Uh
window sill or whatever, and then a cart goes up and down through along a rail,
Wow.
and
Yeah, so it has like a rotary system on it, and you can load it
yeah.
and take stuff
Did
upstairs,
you rent
unload
that
it.
or buy it?
No, I rented it.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you rent it for
that's
like a day.
so
It was
cool.
like 250 euros.
Glenn has a book over there on Fun My Comic too. We looked at that yesterday, Glenn. As a matter of
Sweet.
fact, if you're there, you're still there. We
Hell,
looked
Glenn.
at your campaign again. It's been a while, so it's amazing he came in today uh, earlier. Don't know if he's
Yeah,
still
no, always
there,
good
but
to see you, Glenn.
and we've got new channels. Apparently, Mike's got something up here. I've never seen so many channels here. Um, and actually, somebody's joining us from some site that I don't even know.
Okay.
It looks like probably your version of Twitch over there.
Oh
Um,
yeah, Mike.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
Mike said he was streaming to Twitch earlier.
I'm streaming to Twitch, yeah,
Okay.
and then to
Oh,
my YouTube
Glenn is
channel.
still here.
Oh,
Hey, Glenn.
good.
Yeah.
Always a
Let's
pleasure,
play
man.
your trailer before we get out of here, Glenn. Again. Yeah, we'll chop it up, but so where are we going with this? You're combining the first five into a trade paperback, what we would call a trade paperback, right?
Yeah. So,
I think you've got about 20 issues in your head, don't you?
I don't have anything in my head.
Okay.
So I
Especially
have complete aphantasia. I If I close my eyes, I can't visualize anything. There's nothing.
wow.
So it makes life hard for an artist at first.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But
Just don't close your eyes.
no, even with them open, it doesn't work. But no, every book comes with a ton, or like the volume comes with the first world building ideas,
Yeah.
first concepts, Like,
Look
how
how
are we
thick that
even
thing
going to?
is.
Oh yeah, no, this is 150 comic pages and like 12 additional pages for just world building extras.
Now you're on Euro. We pay you with euros, don't we?
Yeah,
Yeah. You're on the
so
Euro system.
it's like the volume is 40 euros, and then each separate issue is 10. And yeah, like there's 7 issues in the series so far. We made number 6 in 24 hours. My wife and I did. She had a bad idea. I had an even worse idea, and we live streamed it. You can look that back on the Indie Comics Network too if you want something in the background. That is definitely one I would advise. It's hilarious.
Wow.
But yeah,
You
we
and your
made
wife getting goofy.
yes.
Together.
But yeah, every book has a different writer. I got a couple, and they just kind of rotate on who gets
Yeah.
to write what. But yeah, every book has a complete adventure, and they just come up with a character, and we look at a day in the life of these creatures. So, yeah, number 7 is about birds, but we have hive mind sentient rock people. Um,
And what's the page count on these individual books? The flops,
they're
what we would call flops.
um, they're 22 or 32 pages. So number
Okay.
one and number 6 are 22 pages. Because well, they're the first, and I wasn't even sure if I could finish 22 pages. I could, and it made the rest, but like, and then the number 6, the one that my wife and I made in 24 hours. If I were to do 32 pages in 24 hours, I was already going insane enough. It's a reason it's black and white too.
Yeah. Now you must have done that before the birth of your child, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we did that just before we realized that my wife was pregnant.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
like
that's been
two
a
weeks
while. Yeah.
later, we were like, oh, there's a baby coming. Oh,
So
but yeah,
you basically did how much of the book? I mean, you said you got the book completed. What
yes.
what what do you mean by completed?
So
Within 24 hours.
yeah, no, lettered, inked, sketched, storyboarded. Like it's the book was done. The
And
only
you
thing that
did it
needed to be.
traditionally? Traditionally?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Because you do some stuff traditionally, I know. Oh wow,
there
look
we
at
go.
that.
So this is only issue 6 and 7 because I decided to go a little overboard, and
Now
normally
do you
I work.
share this out with your local comic book shops or bookstores
Sometimes they're
sometimes?
kind of um like in Europe we're kind of used to having soft covers, so
Right.
we get a glued spine. They're not too they like though they don't tend to not really like getting
Hardback?
staple stitched in their stores.
No. Okay.
So like I got a lot more interest for the volume than I do for the separate stories.
Katie, would you say that's the same way in England where you're
Um,
at?
I don't know, to be honest.
Because mine's stapled, mine's stitched, and maybe
Yeah.
I need to go to a square bound at some point.
There we go. So
Oh,
this is
that's
from
cute. That's
That
that's
is
yeah.
neat.
cute.
Yeah, this is from issue 6. So this is Fru and the Building Blossoms. My wife made
The building
an
blossoms.
yeah, it's adorable. It's super cute. It's also a lot
Yeah.
deeper in the world building
Uh huh.
than most of the stories are. Like it has a lot more background world building um, than some of the others. Let me find a good page for you all. So yeah, so this is about Fru, the tiny little bugger over here,
Uh huh.
and she is part of the Donia. and every 10 years, the scorching winds blow building blossoms into the sky, and that creates those donia and also kills them eventually after those 10 years. So it's a
It's kind of
constant
like
cycle.
they're seeding, yeah, and the new,
Yeah.
yeah, a cycle, like you said, yeah.
So problem is, Fru isn't complete. So that's why she has this. She's holding her tail on the top of her head. I actually show it a little bit over here. Let's see. Where is she? There we go. So she's got a little bald spot, and she gets exiled for it
Oh,
Freak,
because she's,
freak,
yeah, exactly. Freak, freak, freak.
oh.
mutant.
And that actually ends up being her saved, her blessing, because it brings her to an ancient city where she learns a very deep and meaningful secret about
Uh
those
huh.
Donia and about herself. And yeah, it's a lot deeper story than you would expect from 22 pages. Let me see if I can find another good example. Oh yeah, if you like alien languages,
Way.
you can completely translate all of this.
Wow.
So
So
during the live stream,
you have a sort of translation guide, right?
yeah, if you get the volume, it's in there.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you can literally just count the amount of letters and translate it to English like that.
Now
So they're one-on-one
you
symbols.
initially came up with this and kind of got it started, and now you kind of let loose of some of the writing chores, right,
Yeah.
on some of the volumes, but you're
So,
still kind of pushing into new
So
territory now with these new volumes with your wife, aren't you? Kind of taking it,
well,
taking a little bit. I mean, you work with a variety of writers, like you said.
yeah.
But now on these last two volumes, you've kind of taken more of a hand to the project, haven't you? With your along with your wife?
Um, no, my wife and I
No?
did this as a challenge.
Yeah,
We tend to keep business and our personal lives very separate.
right.
Um, we also weren't supposed to do this with just two people, but the couple that we were supposed to do this over the weekend with um, had one of their moms die literally the day before.
Mm,
And we were like, okay, we completely understand that you are not ready to handle this over the weekend. And my wife and I looked at each other and went, are we still going to do this? Because we've been hyping this up for months.
yeah, yeah.
And we pulled through. And I'm really glad we did. We didn't go with the story that the four of us would have made, but
Right.
this is an amazing story. And I'm so glad that I made it. And we're still keeping the other um, idea up in the air to still
Yeah,
do eventually.
yeah.
But no, every
Yeah,
book
that's
that's
amazing to be able to do. Now, you wouldn't characterize these as like children's books, would you?
now I would say all ages. So you there is so much depth in the characters and the world that gets explained that yes, you could show this to a 5-year-old kid and he would really enjoy the story. Like the characters are fun.
Hmm.
It's they're joking, like
Mike,
they're
your art style lends itself to a coloring book. Are you going to do a coloring book, or have you done one?
honestly we are printing through like number 6 because it's black and white anyway. We actually print it in black and white on uncoated paper so you can color it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
Oh,
I think
nice. Yeah.
I think it kind of lends itself to a coloring book.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
Mm.
know. Are coloring books as popular over there as they are in the States here?
the
Are they
hype
pretty
kind of
popular?
died.
Have
The
they?
hype kind of died.
Okay. Yeah, because I know, they had adult coloring books for a long time was a big fad.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know if that still is. I don't know if that was over there, but here in the
yeah.
states, there for a few years, it was a hot thing. All these adult coloring
No,
books
it's
coming out.
they're still around, but
But
they're
Yeah,
not as big a
yeah,
hype anymore.
yeah, no,
yeah,
same here in England. You can still see them dotted around, and then
Yeah.
yeah,
they're in a lot of sales.
yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
Did you ever get any of those,
boxes.
Katie, and work some of those?
No, do you know what? I'm not actually big on colouring.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Okay.
I mean, I
Darn
don't
it! I
like
was
when I
hoping to
draw.
hire
I
you as my
obviously
colorist.
do my own ink, colouring and everything. But I'm not one to just sit there and colour someone
Yeah,
else's.
Uh huh.
But that
I
said,
get you.
I always recommend that everybody do colouring books because I think I just think they're good. But just because I get bored sitting
Creativity.
there colouring.
Yeah. Creativity. It's a good way to kind of break yourself into the creative zone, I think.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
And and do you color within the lines, Katie, or do you?
No, sadly. That's why I
No.
don't like colouring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
But what I do like about colouring books is it's very simple art. So you can look at it and you can copy it and draw it. And that's why
Well,
I buy colouring books.
I'm
Um,
glad we got on the subject of coloring because this has been sitting here. I did this last night on Topicless, a
oh
bog, and
yeah.
I colored it.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
Very nice.
I don't do a lot of coloring. I mean, here's another one that I put a little bit of coloring to with the heap, just a hint of green
Oh
in
yeah.
there. He's the
Mm.
first, back in the 40s, he was the first swamp monster. He looks very owl-like there, like he's an owl, but we're a carrot with a nose, kind of like man thing. But don't
I
get a
can
lot. I
colour
mean,
Kerry. I just don't enjoy it as much as.
sometimes just like a highlight of color to set
Oh, wow.
things off, with the eyes or like a border.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody that backs the campaign, my campaign, will get one of these headshots. For
Sweet.
one of my characters.
That's
It's four
awesome.
by six. It's multimedia. I mean, it's mixed media paper, and I really need to do some of that wash. Where I can do a wash on some of these, and I may
Mm.
go back and do that. Uh, but for now, I'm just kind of drawing them.
Very good.
So hopefully we'll have a variety of things to, send out to people when it comes time.
Can I just say it's gone my hour when my brain turns to mush, and it
Yeah.
is getting late for me. Not as late for me as it is for Mike, but it is getting late for me. And I've had an absolute fantastic time here listening to you, and I'm definitely going to go and back your book in a moment
Thank
as well.
you.
So
Yeah, I'm halfway funded on Kickstarter, and I am not funded at all on Fund My
I
Comic.
know I want to be the first. I was just looking. I want to be
Aha!
the first.
Oh, there you go.
Go for
Oh,
it.
you don't have any
There
backers
is.
yet? Oh,
No, I don't have any
backer
backers
number
on Fund
one,
My
Kate.
Comic yet.
You better hurry, or Shadowhawk will get over there before you.
Yeah, I know.
And for everybody that wants to go back, if you go down to the descriptions of every book, you can read every single one of the issues separately.
Mm.
So you can start in the series wherever you want. If you have a story that talks to you most, if you go to the 10 euro tier, you can actually select which story you want and start on
Okay.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I still have to figure out. I think I got it might have been 1, 2, and 3. Did you do a launch on a collection of like 3 issues, Mike, back a while back?
Um,
Or it
yeah,
might have just been 1 and 2. I can't remember.
I started doing crowdfunding on number 3. So what you
Oh,
probably
okay.
have
Okay.
is
Maybe it was
If
issue 3 then. Yeah, that I first saw. Is that when
oh,
you came
that's
out with the plushie or?
Yeah,
no,
I probably got the catch up then. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yeah. So this is number 3, and
Yeah, look at
number
that.
1,
Big, big, big.
I love the look of
Oh
that
yeah,
one.
that's
I may have to have that one.
and they just
and
get
number
bigger.
3. Oh,
Yeah,
and
now
then here's number 4.
I mean these are even higher than
Oh, yeah.
like I mean
Okay,
they're
I didn't get
taller,
number
Shadowhawk,
4.
And I
than like
should have a
boards and
number 5.
bags. You know, you're gonna have to have almost treasury size board and bag to accommodate these big old things.
Yeah, I'll probably just custom make some. I got plastic at work. I can.
Right.
I'm going to
Let's
save up
see.
for the plushie though, because that has got a space already. I just need to, you know.
Yeah, no, I got quite a few of them, and they are absolutely adorable. And yeah, if you want to just get the volume, you get 5 issues all in one. You know, issues 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Um, this is a cover by the colorist.
Oh,
So
beautiful, yeah.
she makes gorgeous work on her own, and I absolutely
Damn.
adore
Yeah,
what she does for the series.
Yeah.
Like she just
Yeah.
adds a completely new dimension. And yeah,
that's
if
great.
you
To have a
they're
colorist like that,
So
you
that
can
would be a
trust.
variant cover done by the colorist. Is that what you're
yeah,
saying for the big
yeah.
volume?
So for the volume, that is the cover you're gonna get. And
Okay.
then
Oh,
all
okay.
the separate issues have a cover by myself, so you know you get on the cover what is actually on the inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Some
I'll have a quick look at this. I must admit, I have just been on the site to have a look.
Yeah, no. Um,
now
and
is
again,
this representative of the planet right there, or is that their moon? What is that?
so that is quote unquote the sun. Let me. I don't know why I have not pulled that up on that campaign. That is odd. Let me share that. Where
I would
is
think
that?
I would think that the Euro thing kind of scares people, but it's no different than getting like a British comic. You got a
No,
conversion of money,
Yeah, it's no different than doing pounds or Aussie dollars or whatever.
except the
We
Euro's
just got
probably
to
going to
have
be
a look how
cheap.
much the conversion is. I did. I think worked out something like £35
Man, look at that!
in
Look at
English.
that coloring.
Like
So is that like
that.
their sun? It looks like their sun here.
that it is. I'm
Okay.
going to share my screen.
Yeah, there's
And
there's
Interesting.
no reds or oranges in this
exactly.
universe.
Mm,
Hmm.
So
blues and purples, beautiful.
every story, right, starts with this page.
No cherry blossom though, Katie.
No.
So this
No
world is
pink.
foreign and entirely different from its very core, the core of light that is at its center, whose pulsations give its rhythm to the odd forms of life that strive on the bits of land floating around it. This is one of the stories, a story of life on Cora. So and this is all you pretty much need for every story to understand the world.
So they're
You got
bits. They're on these little bits of
yeah.
floating. Okay.
So this is technically a science fiction megastructure that got built millions and millions of years ago with the power core in the center, a gigantic cloud that gives water to everything, because you got to have rain somewhere,
Yeah.
and
Right.
those continents circling it like planets to a sun. And every
Wow.
single one of these, you know, has their own little biosphere. So
Uh huh.
you have
Diversity, different diversity of life
exactly,
from piece to piece,
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
and
Yeah,
different
such a fantastic.
civilizations
All right,
rise
what's
and
that?
fall.
And what are the little guys off in the background? Are those acting as moons?
So these are actually just remnants of other continents. Like this place is so old that some of the structures just started deteriorating.
Oh, and
Um,
little chunks of them broke off and stuff.
yeah, like here you can see one of the cores that keeps everything together is already shining through as well. Um,
Ah, okay.
the story that I'm going to be working on I'm editing right now by Martin Fisher, who wrote issues 3 and 5. And he's going to do 8 as well. Um, is going to take place on one of these. So there, you're going to be completely under ice, and we're going to be following a creature that has developed um, a way to create ice in order to keep the vast ocean that is under, these icebergs
Mm-hmm.
alive, because otherwise everything dies.
And
They niche themselves into it to keep themselves from extinction. Um,
okay. And so it's
yeah,
kind of
like
an evolutionary thing. It's not from that the debris is distance from the power source,
no.
like
So,
Pluto would be for us.
well, to an extent, yeah. Like it already would have been a colder environment. So the
Okay.
closer you are, you know, um,
Mm-hmm.
this is the main continent that we've been looking at for the most of the stories. So that is me. Yeah,
I did want to
words.
talk about what you mentioned earlier that you can't visualize when you close your eyes.
Yeah.
That condition. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. So aphantasia is the best way I can describe it is close your eyes and think of an apple, right?
Okay.
Now think about that apple. Is it red? Is it green? Does it have spots on it? Is it a little dirty?
Yeah.
Is there still a leaf on the stem? Um, is there a bite out of the apple?
Right.
Maybe there's a worm going through it.
Right.
Are you seeing those things? Because I don't.
You don't see the apple.
I don't see the apple. I don't see details on it. And
Right.
there are people that can close their eyes and completely visualize what happens to that apple, or all the little details, and start feeling like completely
Right.
3D sculpting this apple. That is
Uh-huh.
complete fantasia versus aphantasia, where there's nothing.
And is that a thing with your brain chemistry or your eye or what?
No, it's literally just your brain.
See you,
Um,
Katie. Take
Take care,
care, all. She
Katie.
says, thanks to Rex, Mike, Shadow, for having me on tonight. Good night, all.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Katie.
Bye, Katie.
Let's see. But yeah, um so I don't realize there's I don't visualize in my head. So everything that I put down on paper, I need to get from description. And if I don't, then I don't know what to draw. Literally, there's
Mm-hmm.
no imagination going on in that sense.
Then how do
Um,
you work? How do you come up with this world building and everything?
so essentially, what I did was just put down a couple of very basic but strict rules
Mm-hmm.
for the world,
Right.
and we start with pure science fiction. No magic, Martin. Uh, because
Okay,
that is very
no magic at all.
no magic at all. Like, this is a science fiction megastructure.
Okay.
Everything about Cora, like everything in the world, all the creatures could work with physics and life as we know it.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, I'm not gonna go too deep on it in a 32-page comic. Like, I don't want to bore people. Like, and my
Right.
writers don't either. They
I
make
got. Yeah,
they make character adventures, and it's up to me to make it into a working world.
that's cool. I like that concept. Of the way you guys work together. Good.
So yeah, then I get full scripts that I go over like 5 6 times. Um, and I edit, and I get a new version from the writer.
You can leave that
Um,
up there. I just wanted to update this and
And
see
mhm.
if we get a
now
little bump.
are you while you're going through the scripts, Mike, are you doing like storyboards and stuff, like whatever comes into your head, like drawing little
Yeah.
scenes? Okay.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah, yeah. That makes
Let's
total
see.
sense. I get it.
Let's see. So for the editing, um, I do pretty good on text, and by now I'm so used to um, just understanding
Oh,
what
you
my
do
writers need.
little thumbnails.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
Mhm.
cool, dude. Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's
So
pretty much what I'm imagining in my head what you were doing while you were reading scripts. That's so cool.
Yeah, pacing it
so
out.
yeah, and because and I'll do more of these, like,
I can
because
see
every
the
single
rock
time I get a
creature
script back.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, so the
Yeah, and
like
some
this page right here translates to,
Like a full size splash page. One big scene.
here we
oh
go.
Wow.
wow.
Look at that color pop, boy. You could probably
Dude,
put
that's
this under
awesome.
a black light shadow.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Some of the purples and the blues will be right, I think.
Right.
But that's just dude, that's cool.
So I got that one, which is
You know
another
what? And
splash.
I don't know if you've ever done this, Jimmy, but like when you're campaigning and stuff, do you put up
Mhm.
original art?
Oh yeah. So
Um,
on the campaign, you can get the Too Many Birds page, which I was showing in real life earlier.
oh,
So that
yes, yeah. Okay,
so
but
those.
what I was gonna suggest is
Mhm.
do some of those breakdown pages. Is that all digital or do you print those out?
No, those are actually completely traditional.
Completely traditional? Okay.
Yeah.
Like
The little
I don't know if you've ever
thumbnails.
seen like Art to Bear will offer his layout pages for
Oh,
like a pretty insignificant amount, 30 40 bucks a page or something
45,
like
I
that.
think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I
yeah,
think the
exactly.
last time it was. Yeah. So yeah,
Is
I
that
mean
another trailer,
you can
Mike?
buy 3 or 4 pages of layouts if you
Oh
want,
no,
you
that
know.
that's
And
that's the work in progress for the pilot.
Okay. Okay. That's the one we played. I noticed you had hung on animation there
Yeah. So no,
as
yeah,
well.
this is my live show every Thursday
Okay.
at 1 p.m. Eastern. I spend animating. So
Okay.
oh, cool.
this is
Oh
there it
wow,
goes.
shows you the line work, the early
Yeah.
art.
So this is the work in progress. So what I have worked out already, what I don't. And
Oh,
yeah,
okay. So do
it's
they have these creatures have 6 legs?
that's right.
Yeah.
You can see him a little bit over here,
Tiny
but
travel.
yeah. And then this is the one we made in 24 hours, and yeah, like all
Are
of
you
them.
looking for a particular type of writer to hire
Um,
when you consider a writer doing a book for you?
the main thing that I want out of a writer is that they understand where I'm coming from when it comes to my creations.
Uh-huh.
Um, but also to be able to keep to the limits of the world. But on the other hand, I have so many scripts ready to go. I'm set until script number 13 at the moment, and I'm at 7. Like I'm at 8, so I'm good for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'd love to see more writers pitch in, but I know I can be a little bit of a very strict arse when it comes to it, because yeah, like it it's speculative biology. It's world building. It's science fiction.
Yeah.
So I want it to work, and I can do a lot of stretching. But for example, two kinds of like completely different kinds of creatures are not going to be able to actively talk. You know, they're they're separate creatures. They have different vocal cords. They have different sign language. You know, body language.
Or mental process.
Exactly. Like there's going to be a disconnect,
Yeah.
and
Unless there wasn't.
unless there wasn't like
Yeah, I mean you could have one creature that could actually maybe not speak to every, you could do it that way too, but you could do it like, oh, I can't speak to this chameleon like creature, but now like the flying ones I can, for some reason.
well
Whatever.
that's um
And you
that
could
would be.
approach that in different ways. It could be a mutation,
Oh
an
yeah,
aberration. It
Could
could
be
be just,
telepathy.
yeah,
it's actually one of the things that we
telepathy.
discuss in the first issue.
Yeah.
Because Etsy, the main
No
character,
magic. No magic.
no magic,
No
no,
magic.
but
Telepathy
she
is
she gets
no, it's
attacked.
not magic, right?
No, that's
She
fine.
gets attacked, but by a creature, breaks her arm, falls down from the foliage, down to the ground, straight into a hunting party of her far cousins. So they haven't evolutionary diverged enough for them to be able to understand one another. There's a language barrier, but their vocal cords and their ears are still sophisticated enough for both noises that they can start and break that language barrier.
Mhm.
So I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, there's species on our own planet.
What?
Like I saw this funny video where a couple of frogs in the rain, they puff themselves up, big, and then
Yeah,
they start a fight, and it's like two
Stuff.
beach balls going at it, you know,
yeah,
uh, or during the mating, I mean, this different species of birds, they do a dance or all
yeah.
kinds of stuff, it's really wild. It's different with every different species, of
And
animal.
that's the beauty of it. Like I
Uh,
love that.
and the thing about our own world is we're discovering things in the ocean and on
Yeah,
land. There's every year there's multiple species that we didn't know was out there are being discovered. I mean,
yeah,
and I think there's a few lost too, like the passenger pigeon and the dodo. There are species lost, but there's also some found that we didn't. That inspired me with the silver boa character to create him back in 2017 because I heard on the radio on Conception Island that they found this new boa constrictor and he was silver, the silver boa, and I said, "Oh, that's too good a name. I got to
that's a
copyright
good
that."
name. Yeah.
Yeah, the silver boa. I got to copyright that. Hey, Ray. Ray joining us from Oi Oi,
Hey,
Australia.
good morning.
We have had an international crowd here. We are live and
Definitely.
international here with Mike, Jimmy. How do you say the rest of your name?
So the Lorsha is actually a nickname that
Okay.
I just keep from way back when.
Okay.
But Mike Jimmy de Bra, that's my complete name.
Okay. I love how you just kind of with that last part. You better.
De Bra,
If I tried to
the
say
Brown.
it, I would murder it. Okay.
Most people just say the Bruin. And
Okay.
honestly,
I'm
it
not even
means
going to
the
attempt.
brown.
You're not going to bite me, Mike. I'm not going there. I'm just going to call
I
you Mike.
personally love it because people all people have a different name, and it's even more fun when you hear my wife's name because it's a loose.
Jamie, what'd you do with that black tape you had the other day?
Okay.
So every American or English speaker is like Loes. How am I going to pronounce that? Is that like Lois? Is it
Yeah.
lose? Is it Lowe's?
Yeah. Right. Right.
All all over the place. I mean, at least I've got an American name, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah. And how did that come about? Did you ask your parents? Why did you
Um,
call me Mike?
no,
Because
no,
Rex is kind of uncommon. These things come in fads, and I'm like, and my mother just said, because I liked it. Not named
essentially,
after.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I,
No,
I
my
mean that's with the naming of my daughter Amber Dawn. We that was the only thing we agreed on. And it's like we both thought it was a pretty name.
no.
Because
It's the
we
same
actually
for
got a book out. Did you get a book out to name your child of names?
no, because Lucy and I pretty much had everything set. Like
Okay.
we hadn't. Lucy and I both wanted children
Right.
for a long time,
Hmm.
but yeah, like so we thought about it before we even knew each other, and like we had our names. Um, I very much want the boy's name. She very much knew her first daughter's name, and yeah, like we
Okay.
just didn't have to have a fight over it. So
Yeah.
we went
Did
for
you did you
Aurora.
know did you know the sex of the child before it was born, or was it a
Yeah,
surprise?
no,
You did.
we knew.
I guess just about everybody has an ultrasound
Yeah,
nowadays.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
ahead of time.
it's a normal thing. Like the
Yeah.
had like 10 of them. Like they're very strict on monitoring because so many things can go wrong, and if you can prevent it by just checking every so many weeks,
Right. Right.
just go for it. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. But I actually, this true story. I had a friend, and he's actually a friend of mine. I mean, he's full grown, healthy now. But they said, "Oh, there's problems with this baby. He's going to
Hmm.
be born brain dead. He probably won't survive, that long
Yeah.
if born. You need to just have an abortion." He was born healthy, had no problems. He's a giant.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah. No. It's
I'm saying that make up your mind whether you want to have the child or not, but
yeah.
don't let anybody dissuade you because they were totally wrong with him. Totally wrong. How they could be wrong, I don't know.
They're human after all. Let's be
Yeah,
And,
honest there. Like,
right.
and
and dude, it's easy for medical tests to go wrong if it gets slightly contaminated or
yeah,
anything with anything
Right.
around it. It can give
yeah.
you some.
Now
That's
you
why
sound
they
like
say
Risey.
don't do those. Like, there's all those self colonoscopy tests now that you can do, where you just send a little sample of your do
Right.
Yeah.
in, and then they say like 80% of people that do that end up getting a false positive, and then they go to the doctor thinking they have colon cancer. They're all freaked out and everything, and
Yeah.
it turns out they're
Well, look
fine.
at look at that up and down, and we don't know if you're positive or not with COVID.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
dude,
heard about that all the time.
I
One
never
test
once
tells me
tested
yes.
positive. Every time I had to be tested, I tested negative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
But
no
now
idea.
that wasn't the case with everybody. Some people would go, "Man, I got tested once. It was yes. Tested again. It said no." It was like up
Hmm.
and down on the
Well,
test.
dude, I had to take 3 days off work just because some guy that
Yeah,
I worked
that's
with,
crazy. Yeah.
and like I had to, because he was a contractor, so I had to stay with him and take him around the
Hmm.
building, take him up to the roof to check our units up there and do all this
Yeah.
stuff.
So why didn't
But
they
the
just
big,
shut the factory down for 3 days?
right, but
Because
just
everybody was
because,
exposed.
well,
That's
see what
crazy.
happened was he came in. It was a Friday, and
Uh-huh.
he was acting like he was all hungover. He's like, "Oh man, I was out last night," and blah blah blah. But I didn't think nothing of it. He's a buddy of
Uh-huh.
mine. He's our contractor. So I spent the whole day with him, going through the building, playing around. And then around lunchtime, he's like, "Man, I ain't feeling so good. I think I'm gonna stop by the emergency
Yeah.
or urgent care or whatever on the
Right.
way home." And I was like, oh, well, I hope you're feeling better, dude. I'll
Yeah.
see you, because it was a Friday. I'm like, I'll see you Monday because you're coming back.
Right.
And yeah, I come in the following Monday morning, and my boss told me, he's like, yeah, you got to take 3 days off because you spent the day with so and so last
Golly.
Friday.
Oh
And
man.
yeah, he went directly after he left our place. He went to the urgent care, got tested. Apparently, it turned out he was positive. Um,
Oh
so
shame.
he had to call his company. His company had to call my company. Um, this whole big thing. But then I got tested 3 times. I tested every day that I was off because I was like, I'm going to get paid for these
Mm-hmm.
days, dude. You're not going to lay me off without pay. It's something that's not my fault. And I got tested every day for free at Walgreens, and all 3 of those tests came back negative. So
Yeah.
So you're this Fru, I hope I'm saying that right,
Yeah.
and the building blossoms is in black and white.
It's in black and white.
And where
So
and what was the big thing with that? You just wanted to, okay, this is what we got done in 24 hours. There's no way you can kind of color it like you usually do. You wanted a difference. You wanted a
um
where people could color it themselves, or
well,
what? Because this
partially we
is a
wanted it.
major departure from your other work.
Oh, yes. Well, the thing is, it's yes, it was. If I was going to color it in 24 hours, I would go insane.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, right. Yeah.
yeah, like that first of all, and even if I would have told my colorist to actually color it, um, it is also a very different style from what people are used to from Love and Core because I had to go quick and dirty. Um,
Right. Right.
and honestly, because it's a simpler, quicker, more cartoony style,
Hmm.
it really leads itself to just being a coloring book, and we've been selling it as such. Having it uncoded, um,
Right.
and yeah, it's very kid friendly as well.
that's
And
kind of
cheaper
cool.
to
Um,
produce too, right, Mike? Not
no,
having to.
because the printer I use is actually like they don't differentiate between black and white or color because we print them
Really?
like
Wow.
Print,
folders
print on
and flyers.
demand. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, usually they
Um,
do, but
Usually they do, but
now
I
it
found a
has
local
a
printer.
color cover, right?
So
No, it's completely black and
Oh,
white.
it's black and
It's very,
white.
yeah.
Okay.
is
All right.
this one part of the continuity of the story though, or was it just kind of like you guys had an idea and you wanted to do a book in 24 hours and
Uh,
see if you could do it?
Um, so the continuity isn't there because
Okay.
every book is completely separate from one another, except for one and
Okay.
two,
So
which
so
kind of
that
hang
don't
together.
matter anyway. Okay.
Yeah, it didn't matter anyway. And so I pretty much let her loose on the world.
Okay.
Um,
And
like do all writers really.
uh,
And yeah,
here's the Thanos glove. Go crazy.
exactly. Like
Yeah. What could happen?
exactly. Well, what
I
ended
mean,
up
it's only
happening is
24 hours. Click.
yeah.
Right.
No, it leans itself to it, and because it's black and white, com like putting it next to all the colored ones really makes it pop out. And a lot of people
Oh
come
yeah.
to our table at cons because it's black and white, and then they get drawn into inner talents with the underwater theme or
Yeah.
all the other ones, or they just stick with through and go, this is too damn adorable, I need this in my life, and I hand them
Yeah.
a
when
coloring
it
pencil
when
and
it
go have
comes
fun.
to when it comes to
Well, we're at.
literature or entertainment or your comic collecting, uh what have been, you think, the most influences on your own work?
um for my
I,
art style and stuff,
I know
it's
that's a big question, or your
oh no.
world building, or yeah.
So for the storytelling, I have a huge influenced by Asterix, Lucky Luke,
Okay.
Tintin. The more classic European
Yeah.
storytelling.
Mhm.
You get a full adventure in every
I
book. That's
picked
what I
up an
grew up on.
asterisk comic book on Free Comic Book Day recently.
And they're
Yeah, we don't
fun.
get we don't get much asterisks over here, unless you go on
No.
Amazon or something where,
Yeah,
you know,
but like,
Which one was that? That Barbaric Rex?
it's like, wait, no, it's like the cartoony Vikings.
Oh,
there we go.
okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't get that.
Oh, here you go. Wait a minute. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Asterix
Oh
with
yeah.
the pics.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I've actually got a Pez set, a European Pez set of them.
Oh
But I
really?
don't
There
know
you-
that much about them. And I know they've been published, what, since the 1970s at least? Is that right, Mike?
Late 50s.
Late 50s. Okay, so they've been around a while. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
like they're around.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that is storytelling wise, art wise. A lot of Hanna-Barbera cartoons, but also
Okay.
a little bit of anime. I'm only 30 years old. I was there with the anime boom, like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. I know.
You
I'm
young
so
guy?
There
young.
you
I'm
go.
Yeah.
so
30.
young.
Oh God,
30
you little
years old.
baby.
Wow. Yeah,
Let me guess. You wouldn't have told. You wouldn't have guessed if I didn't say it.
My
Well, I
youngest
bet if
daughter
we would, if you
is
would shave
40.
that off, it would probably
Oh
not
yeah, no,
10 or
like,
15
that
years
is
old.
20 years
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And you can still got all your color. I'm looking forward to you graying out in a few
I'm.
years.
The thing is, I'm already graying out. The thing is,
Oh,
it's
you're
getting.
dyeing it.
No, I'm getting blonde.
Oh, you're getting blonde. Okay.
I'm.
All right.
Oh my.
Instead of a salt and pepper shake, I'm getting a paprika and curry.
Well, you know what they say, Jimmy. Blondes have more fun.
Yeah. Did
My
you
wife
ever test
agrees.
that theory, Shadowhawk? You were a brunette guy.
No, I prefer brunette, but whatever.
Right.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying. If
Did
you're
you
gonna
ever
go,
test that theory? Do blondes really have more fun?
I've tested a few different theories,
Yeah.
and
I don't know
I
why the
still, I
saying's not
still ended up,
redhead.
I still ended up with my petite little brunette girl. So if
Yeah.
that
Worth it.
tells you
You
anything,
you
I
would
mean, I don't know.
you would think the saying is redheads have more fun because they're kind of fiery, kind of feisty, right? It's kind of like they're
Well, yeah, but that's the problem with redheads, man. They're fun for a little while.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
I,
then
I actually
they
agree.
burn everything to the ground, huh?
Yeah, then they turn
Yeah,
into evil leprechauns.
right. Psycho in the shower.
Agree. Got the devil
See,
inside her.
Yeah,
you can trust a redheaded giant. You can't trust a redheaded fairy.
No,
yeah,
no. I can agree. No, you
yeah.
cannot.
Now, have you consulted like Jack and the Beanstalk, other fairies like story? I mean, other uh, fairy tale type stories like that, or like you say, folklore stories to kind of incorporate some of those elements within your world building, even though you take a more
Um,
scientific approach.
Did you just call him
so
Billy?
No, you misheard me.
so the way that I try and think about Cora when it comes to its creatures um, is like I'm anthropomorphizing. Like, yeah,
Right,
you're not gonna, you're not gonna get away from that. They're
right,
creatures and they're being sentient.
right.
So what kind of legends would these creatures tell each other? What kind of world? How would they talk
How is their
about their world?
civilization structured, their day to day
Exactly.
life, like you're saying,
Um,
and what are is it a world of danger? Is it a place of peace? How did things operate? Yeah, you got to set all that up, don't you?
and that's the thing. Like it's there is no dominant sentient species.
Well,
Like
I
humans
like the
are on
approach,
Earth.
Mike, because it's like Farscape.
Yeah.
You saw Farscape? It's like Voyager, Star Trek Voyager, because they were out way out in the when you're so far out in deep space, those in both of those series, they were so
Yeah.
far. You can write the rules.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever been out there. We don't know what it's like. So you're making everything up except for what is contained on the ship. You know.
Yeah. No, and that's the fun of it, and that's why I can let my writers loose so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they
Because you
they
don't
can
have constraints.
no like
Like if
there's
it's set
limits.
in New York City, you got constraints. You know.
Exactly. Like um you got to think about a couple of things beforehand. Like if there's birds, that
Yeah.
means that dinosaurs esque were a thing once. If there's flying mammals, um, you know, how do they fly? What kind of evolutionary traits um, made it like that? Yeah, no, Dan and I get along really well when it comes to world building. He is actually the person who made the soundtrack for the intro on the trailer.
Oh, okay.
So he's already agreed to do the entire soundtrack for the pilot as well, and I'm absolutely looking forward to it. He is a great science fiction writer. He does the Aphelion Archives, where yeah, it's a science fiction world building as well. Um, and we tend to have a lot of fun talking on Last Man Standing, because that is a very early morning show for me and a very late night show for him. Um,
He's joining us from a different platform. Otherwise, I give him a wrench for the channel, but I can't seem to find his comment on normal YouTube.
no,
Uh,
he's over on my account,
okay, all right.
but
That
yeah,
that's good, Dan. Consider subscribing if you like talking about comics. Great interviews with creators like Mike and other things like that. Mike, let me show you my trailer if you don't mind, real
yeah,
quick.
of course.
Doc Blaylock worked on that with me. You might know Doc.
Yes, I
Uh,
do.
he's got Pariah Blood and Mud and a damn dirty thing right now funding. Here we go.
Sweet.
There we go. Had to take care of a little business there.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
no, by all means, show
yeah,
your own stuff
over
too.
on exclusively over on Fund My Comic right now. $3,270, 57 backers.
Sweet.
So we're fully funded. We've been fully funded after the fourth day. Been up for about raised in 3 months. So I guess it's been about a little over 3 months now, but we seem to be
Cool.
doing all right. And we've still got one of the covers to drop, Jimmy Reyes wraparound cover to drop. And once I get that in, get ready to add, then we'll put the acrylic standee up by itself for people to buy and some other great things. So go check it out. We're Shadowhawk. We are within and Mike, we are let me double check this now. I sent out a post about this. We are $380 away from getting the midnight trading card. So
Sweet.
Woohoo.
let me let me bring that up for people that may not have seen the midnight trading card. It's by George Peter Gaddis. Uh, there it is, right
Nice.
there. So that's our next stretch goal to have that made into a trading card, and we're $380 away. That's doable. And then I'll put up one more stretch goal before the campaign's over. What that is yet, I don't know. I'd love to do a bust magnet like this of one of the characters, maybe Devil Flyer, you know. Uh, but we'll see.
Sounds good.
We have a hardback artist edition as well with at least 12 pages of new content. I love the digital option too, Mike, because you can add new content, you know,
Yeah.
exclusively to the digital to kind of push digital, especially for it's kind of like I look at it as kind of a thank you
Yeah.
for especially like your foreign market, that has to pay so much high shipping if they want a physical copy.
Yeah. It's
Um,
it's one of the worst things about having to crowdfund.
it is,
Um,
yeah. But now the great thing, Mike, is that you can get, not only create a book, which mine's been all about the books. That's pretty much what we've had up there. We got a black light tapestry. We've got a standee. Here's
mhm.
what the standee will look like, taken from John Dillard's cover. Right there, the bog tapestry.
Nice.
But it's all pretty much about the hardback edition, the three covers. We got a Jimmy Reyes cover being dropped. Uh, but the great thing is with crowdfunding, you buy my dog a meal for $2. She gets hungry occasionally.
Oh
There's a
yeah.
drawn
No.
in tier. I let people, if you want to get drawn into a comic book, never been drawn into a comic book, you can. We've had a couple people do that. We still got the original artwork to the tapestry up, the acrylic painting done by
Nice.
Doc Blaylock. We got the title page to Grave Tales there, done by Doc Blaylock, and another page. We've got some individual, uh, Devil Flyer done by Doc Blaylock there. He wanted to do him. Here's the Golden Age cover with kind of like a costume swap
Hmm.
there and power swap by John Philandes, who drew the Devil Flyer story within it. The bystander is kind of my watcher type character. There's a piece done by him. The villainous director there. We got an unknown vampire here. Here's a look at the black and white with the color logo, what the artist edition will look like. We've got some sketch cards done by me. There's the original Swamp Monster, the Heap, done by me, and some of the other characters, Harbinger, Dirty Joe, Bog, uh, done on parchment paper. They will come in a top loader. We got bookmarks done by me. We got Bog versus Dirty Joe
Nice.
there standing off. We got Slaver coming up out of the grave. Bog there in the moon and sort of glowy bog. I hope to make this one, and these are original pieces of artwork that you can buy. And here's a look at the book. Get down to the stretch goals here. There's some additional work done by Doc Blaylock. You get a free 6AM sticker. If you signed up and you back the book, you get, of course, the Devil Flyer uh, full card.
Hmm.
We've unlocked this trading card done by my good friend John Philandes. We got the Rob Ewing zigzag magnet. And like I said, we're going on to the midnight card for next. So something, and that will be in full color, just as depicted
Sweet.
here by George Peter Gaddis. Uh, he also did this modern day mummy shot here. Very cool. And some of that original artwork will be going up for sale. Um, I'll put that up once the wraparound covers done. Uh, I will be getting these promo cards of John Dillard made in here pretty soon. Um, and yeah, onward and upward in Momentum May, as I like to call it, because Momentum Comics is sort of my thing, Mike. Momentum.
Got to keep moving.
Got to keep moving, man. You got to keep churning it out. It's been a long world building type thing, but we've talked a lot about world building, but Mike, that's all I was doing for decades.
I can imagine.
And then I see the crowdfunding, and I go, "Oh, we got a way to sell to the public." And I've done that on eBay for almost 20 years, sell directly to the customer. So I'm familiar with that. But this was sort of a new thing. Oh, wow, we got a distribution, a way to get this stuff out. And it kind of led into, now we can get, ISBN, barcodes, no problem with that. Get it out into the local comic shops, get it out into the airports or wherever you can get it out, wherever fine magazines are sold. And it will be magazine size. So it's kind of more European in size, like you're talking about.
More comic for your buck.
Yeah. And I went from a very small book, the ash can. And here's the ash can right here, which is still up on Indiegogo. I need to take it down, really. 24 pages, stitched. That's why I asked about the stitching. I just wanted to lay flat, be able to, be easy read. I'm working on a possible story I may fit into the book. We'll see. I've got that and the start of page 2 here. So
that looks great, man.
Get a little bit of myself into the book, a little bit more. Because I was hiring artists when I came on, and they were like, "Oh, you're a writer." Well, I can do this too. I'm just slow.
Yeah.
I got something to prove, Mike.
I told myself
that tell me you cannot do that. Don't do that.
Well, screw that noise.
Yeah, screw that noise. Good way to put it, Mike. We can do anything we want. I really think all the energy, forgive me for saying, but all the momentum is into independent comics right now, isn't it, Mike?
It is. Yeah. So don't worry too much about being slow. You want to know how long this page took?
Oh, I bet it took a while. Yeah.
This is a dip pen and Indian ink.
Uh-huh.
So
do you ever do brush work?
Oh yeah, totally.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. Not that much, but
now you probably don't do that much gray toning, do you?
No, I don't do much gray toning.
Or gray wash or anything like that. Yeah.
Let me look up. Let's see.
Shadowhawk, are you there? He's muted. He might be getting dinner ready. I was going to ask him what's for dinner. I'm not sure what I'll have either. I think I've got some barbecue chicken in there.
Oh, sorry about that, Rex. Yeah, no idea, man. I'm still over here working on my little entryway project.
Oh, are you really? Okay. You're still painting? May I suggest mac and cheese? Kids love that.
That is true.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I picked spaghetti. I may pick some spaghetti tonight. I've still got some sauce. Yeah. And it's Wednesday. Usually you have spaghetti on Wednesday. Although I think you've kind of got out of that habit.
What's that?
Usually you do on some Wednesdays. I know you do spaghetti.
Yeah, we can. It just depends. Now that Mama Hawk's schedule has changed and she gets home earlier, she's not a big pasta fan like the rest of us.
Yeah, you told me that. Yeah. Chicken nuggets. When you got kids, it's like simple food,
Yeah.
Dinosaur.
Sometimes something quick. You don't want to spend all the time in the kitchen because you got to spend time with the kid doing all kinds of stuff.
Remember when they came out, the dinosaur nugget?
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw actually on X. I saw this giant mashed potato volcano with the dinosaur nugget with like broccoli trees,
Oh,
and
really?
they poured brown gravy out of the mashed potatoes. They had a slice. I saw that earlier today, and they said the caption was, "What is this?"
Wow.
Yeah, that's some kind of adult nightmare for a meal. Either that or a throwback to Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah, you're gonna be spending some serious toilet time the next day.
Mike, I know it's late over there in the Netherlands. Any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
Check out Life On Cora over on Fun My Comic and Kickstarter. And thanks everybody for having me on. Very much appreciated. And yeah, Rex, this was so much fun. I love just having
Well,
creative
good.
talks.
I'm sorry. We should have had you on long ago, but
No worries. We were just
I
living
saw a
different lives.
post. Often that's kind of how I pick people is they're, on Twitter and they're like, oh, Life of Cora. And then it's like, yeah, I need to hit Mike up and get him on, and thanks for coming on at such short notice.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
And don't be a stranger. We're going to have to do this again.
definitely.
Now, are you going to do any more with Randy and Arrow Comics and all like that? The reviews that we kind of do? Because it's been a couple of months for you. I know you've had a child and maybe it's not
time just
convenient.
flies.
Yeah,
I just
it
hop
does.
in whenever I can.
Yeah.
So
I know
I'll
the
do-
roster kind of shifts. I mean, like I've missed 2 or 3 times myself because I have to get up on Fridays like 4 a.m. in the morning to do that. I have to get up at 8 o'clock on Sunday to do that one.
Yeah.
So it's not really convenient time for me. It's killer on my sleep, but it's a lot of fun to do. And like you say, you simulcast, so it's going over to Randy's, it's going over probably to yours. I don't know. It's going over the Indie Network. So it gets you, maybe that's why I've been picking up a few subscribers. You're getting noticed by other channels, and that's good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No, it's a ton of fun, and yeah, I grab them whenever I can because I really enjoy hanging out with
when is your
everybody.
Kickstarter shutting down? How much time do they? Because they only do 30 days over on Kickstarter, correct?
You can set it yourself, but 30 days is
for
the
a longer
standard.
time. What's the maximum?
I think the maximum is like 90 days.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know. 90 days. Wow.
But the thing is, why would you? Because you're gonna plateau, in the middle. But on both Fun My Comic and Kickstarter, I got 22 days left. So the Fun My Comic is all or nothing as well.
Yeah, let me look at that. Okay, so you got an end date. So
yeah,
you're probably not okay. And you're asking for €750. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
it's like $800.
Okay. So yeah, we need to get busy on that.
Yeah,
if we're going to get you funded over there.
Would be nice.
How much, how much is that in American dollars? Do you happen to know?
Yeah, it's about $800 American dollars.
Okay, all right.
Like it's not that big a difference anymore. It used to be way more, but yeah, like everything just kind of flattened.
Now, is this your first time over on Fun My Comic?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think you'll do it again if you don't get any backers or get funded?
I'll probably make a storefront, and just get backers in like that.
Okay. Now you don't. Now I know this has got an end date, but you can change that over there before it ends
Yeah, but
and
I
goes
think it
straight into.
is.
That's what I did with mine. That's
I
kind of like
think.
that's kind of like Indiegogo's in demand, you know, but they call it storefront.
Yeah, but let me get back. Let me check on that because it may have to be after the
Well, now
campaign
you may
ends.
have to talk to one of the admin or to Luke
Yeah,
Stone, but they can absolutely do that for you if you tell them to change it.
yeah. No,
You
we'll
may
see
have
what
to tell
happens.
them to change it. Otherwise, it'll just end. But I don't see the wisdom in that of letting it end and then putting it back up in a storefront. Just have them convert it over into a storefront and go
Yeah,
in demand, at that point. Yeah. And
yeah. No,
save
we'll
yourself some
see
trouble.
what happens in
That's
the
what
last
I
two
did,
weeks.
and
Yeah.
I'm still getting backers. So
Oh, for sure. Like I'm definitely gonna change it in the storefront.
yeah,
That's not even a question. But
with my Ashcan, I did more business while I was in demand over on Indiegogo than I did during the campaign time.
yeah. No,
Of course, it
I'm
was a
familiar. Yeah,
lengthier time, but you know, people got to know me. They got to know the project,
yeah.
and I, was still, shielded
Hey,
for
I got this
almost.
new thing.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. I really gotta hop because it's 1:30 a.m. and I got a baby
Well, I
in three
appreciate it, Mike.
hours.
I appreciate it, Mike. Take
Take
care.
care, dude.
Keep collecting. Uh, kiss that baby for us, and thank your wife for us as well.